All right, so as you can see, I'm all set up to do some work and curriculum prep. Today, I'm going to try to tackle all about reading level 1. Now, I've watched a ton of YouTube videos about how to set this up, how to organize it, how to utilize it so that you can use it with more than one child, because it's not a super, inexpensive curriculum. So if you're going to be using it back to back with kiddos, it is probably worth the time investment to do what I'm doing here today, so that you don't have to buy multiple workbooks. Earlier this week, I did a trip over to Staples and I bought some supplies. First of all, I bought a very large, a 2-inch binder. I really like these better binder. They're very, very durable. I like the fact that you can bend them open like fully. I've had really good success with these. They are a little bit pricier, but I think durability wise, they hold up a lot better. I also went ahead and picked up just some standard sheet protectors, and then I don't really know exactly what I'm going to find myself getting into, so I went ahead and brought down my label maker as well as my laminator and some laminating sheets, just so I have all my tools right here at hand in the dining room. I'm doing all of this while I'm also baking bread in the kitchen, so that's why I'm up here today in the dining room, or my granny room as I like to call it. Because I just am kind of going to be going back and forth from here and to the kitchen and listening to my little ones who are doing quiet time upstairs. All right, so let's just get right into it. I'm just gonna start cutting and organizing and take you along for the ride. Okay, so I'm only 2 lessons in, but I will say so far I'm very happy with the binder. I'm glad I used the label maker to make my edge. I like things a little bit aesthetically pleasing, so this is nice. But I am realizing that I need to have my teacher guide open, looking through each lesson and what in the world there are ice cream cones for in lesson 2, so that I know exactly what I'm preparing and why. So right now, I'm kind of tossing it up between 2 ideas of just separating everything into different lessons and putting them in the sheet protectors, and then going back through a second time and deciding what needs cut out and what doesn't, or just deciding as I go. I don't know. They both sound tedious. One of the reasons I'm really kind of thinking through some of this in my head is that I do think having some simple cutting practice for Ezra every lesson would be helpful, like cutting out these 4 words. That would be very doable for him and a good way for us to get scissor practice into his everyday. His OT would love that. So this looks great, whereas maybe doing all of the ice cream cones feels a little bit too much or a little bit overwhelming, and I'd rather just have this prepped ahead. I'm also trying to think through in my head what needs laminated and what doesn't. If this is a game we're going to play several times, then I would go ahead and take the time to laminate it. So this is why I'm saying I need to have the teacher guide out and be kind of perusing through what each one of these activities is for and how many times we'll be utilizing it. right, so I have made it to lesson 30, and I think that the way I'm doing this is going to work the best is to just tear all of the sheets out of the activity manual, put them into the different lessons and sheet protectors, and then go back through, because I almost forgot, I have all of these cards to punch out and pair with the lessons. And as I've been kind of sitting here thinking through things, I don't think that I actually want to use this as cutting practice for Ezra. I think by the time I wrangle my little ones and get them sat down and ready to work on reading, that's what we should be focusing on, is reading, and that I shouldn't be trying to multitask and have them working on scissor work at the same time. This is something that I really learned from Spelling UC and some other curriculums where it's, especially with little ones, it is better to hone in and focus on one subject at a time. So when you're teaching spelling, focus on spelling, don't focus on handwriting. When you're working on handwriting and letter formation, don't worry about their spelling, worry about whether or not they're making their letters beautiful. And so this was just a good reminder for me as I've been sitting here tearing out page after page. This is reading practice, not scissor practice. So I'll be using my handy dandy Costco scissors to do some cutting. I don't think I'm going to get all of this done in one day. I think this is going to end up being a multi-day project, which is fine. It's definitely making me, as mama and teacher, feel like I have a better feel for the curriculum as a whole. It's reminding me why I purchased this in the spring. It's been several months since I bought this, and now I'm finally like digging into it. And one of the things that the illustrations are amazing. They are beautiful. And I was an art major in college, and so I tend to be a little bit picky about illustrations for children, especially Bible illustrations and reading illustrations. I just absolutely love these. So super excited about this curriculum and getting a better feel for it. Look who's that?
Spider-Man.
It's a Spider-Man mask. That's so cool. Why don't you, hey, you go take your muffin and go sit down, okay?
Okay.
Whew, that was super close.
What?
This entire notebook almost fell all over the floor.
No.
Woo!
Terrible.
Day 2, yes, this is indeed going to be a multi-day project, but this time I did get all of the lessons torn out of the activity manual and divided into page protectors in my notebook. So today I'm starting fresh, and I'm going to use the teacher's manual and go through and decide what needs cut out, what needs laminated. Now, another YouTube mama had such a great idea. She decided to label every piece that she cut out on the back with its lesson number. So this is lesson 1. I'm labeling each of these with lesson 1 because maybe your household is like mine. There's a very real possibility that this notebook might fall on the floor sometime and some of the bits and pieces fall out. So having everything labeled is going to be very helpful for my future. Moving on, I am laminating some of the games that I think we're going to play multiple times. I didn't end up laminating as much as I thought, but I did laminate some of those. Now here, these are flip books, and there are several of these in the curriculum, and you basically just cut them out and take a stapler. It's really easy. There's little guides exactly where you're supposed to staple, and you're just basically making word family books, you know, fit, bit, sit. These are great, and they didn't take me long at all. I'm storing all of these in Ziploc bags and putting them in the page protectors as well. Moving on to day 3, I'm finally getting my letter tiles organized. I'm so excited I waited to do this because I was actually able to pick up this whiteboard at a yard sale, as well as all of these letter tiles and the first level of All About Spelling for $5 at a consignment shop. I got quite the deal on all of these, and you see here it is a little bit of a labor of love to set up the board. I'm hoping and praying my kids don't mess with it too much, but I think this is going to be a really good fit. All About Learning does have a app on the iPad, or I think on your phone, that you can use instead of these physical letter tiles, but I know for my kiddos, not having that screen distraction for school is going to work so much better. And a lot of my kiddos, they're hands-on learners, so I'm thinking having these physical letter tiles in front of them is going to be really helpful. So this really wraps up all of my prep for All About Learning Level 1 for this year. I'm really looking forward to using this curriculum with Ezra in particular. I think it's going to be such a good fit for him. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to know how things are going. I'll be excited to share updates with you as the school year moves on. All right, guys, hope you're having a great week. See you later.